Namaste children, welcome to today's class. In the last class we have studied about introduction to human eye, its structure and blind spot. Today we are going to discuss about the colors that we see, working of human eye, persistence of vision, range of vision, power of accommodation, defects of vision, that is myopia, hypermetropia and cataract. Yes, how do we see the colors? As we came across that our retina has a large number of light sensitive cells having rods and cones in shape. Rod shaped cells respond the amount of light entering into the eye, that is in brightness and also in darkness, and also respond even in dim light, but not the cone cells. Cone cells respond only in bright light and then enable us to make color perception possible. These cones are very sensitive to the colors, that is red, green and blue light to different extents. If we move across the colorblind, here a person consists of cone cells few than compared to rod cells. As it was told in the earlier class that the cone cells respond to the color identification. If the cone cells are few than compared to rod cells, here the person feels very difficult to distinguish between the colors. Otherwise, he can see the objects clearly. This happens due to genetic disorder, that some people do not possess some cone cells as they respond to specific colors. If I move to the night blindness, here the number of rod cells are fewer than compared to cone cells, and here the person feels very difficult to see clearly in dim light. Then such person is said to be affected by night blindness. If I move across working of human eye, before going with the working of human eye, let us recall the structure of human eye, what we learned in the earlier class. As I told you, human eye is like a camera and it consists of convex lens. This lens system forms an image on the light sensitive screen called retina. The eyeball is almost spherical in shape with a diameter of about 2.5 cm. As light enters the eye through a transparent membrane called cornea. Behind cornea, there is a muscular diaphragm called iris, which has an opening at its center called pupil. The pupil controls the amount of light entering into the eye. The eye lens helps to focus the image of objects on the retina. The ciliary muscles helps to change the curvature of the lens and to change its focal length. So how it happens? Let me tell you now by giving an example. Suppose the object is far away from the eyes. There the ciliary muscles gets relaxed and the focal length increases and the eye lens becomes thinner, and then the person is able to see the objects. Suppose if the object is near to the eye, there the ciliary muscle gets contracts. When it gets contracts, the focal length reduces. When the focal length reduces, then the eye lens becomes thicker. So now let me go about the working of human eye. So the eye lens forms a real inverted image of the object on the retina. The light sensitive cells in the retina then produces electrical signals which are carried by the optic nerves to the brain. The brain processes the information and sends the message to the eye, and then we see the object. So as I told you, the brain interprets the electrical signals in such a way that we see an image which is erect and of the same size as the size of the object. Persistence of vision. The light reflected by any object we look at passes through the lens of the eye and it is focused upside down on the sensitive screen called retina. This retina passes the impression to the brain via optic nerve, and we see right side up. The reflection will stay on the retina as long as the object is in view. Suppose if we take the object away from the eye, then object is disappear, but no risk, the image in the brain does not disappear immediately, which means the image does not fade away immediately. Its impression remains on the retina for about 1/16th of a second even after the removal of the object. This continuance of the sensation of vision is called persistence of vision. When images of a moving object are flashed on the eye at the rate faster than 16 times per second, the eye perceives this object as moving. Then, where do this property is used? This property is used in motion picture projection, which we generally call cinematography. Now, we'll move to the another topic called range of vision. Our eyes are wonderful gift given by the God, which consists of optical instrument where we can see the distant objects and also nearby objects with almost the same clarity. This mechanism is possible by changing the shape of the eye lens and the focal length with the help of the ciliary muscle. When the muscles, that is ciliary muscles, are relaxed, then the object which is kept at the infinity can be seen clearly with the sharp focus of the image on the retina. When the object brought closer to the eye, the focal length gets reduced, or we can tell shorten. The eye does this because the lens image distance for the eye has to remain constant and equal to the size of the eyeball. You can observe in the slide the near object and also the far object. Two objects are shown. In this slide you can observe the ciliary muscle relaxing in the first figure where the object is kept at infinity, focal length increases and we can see the distant object clearly. In the second figure you can observe the ciliary muscle gets contract, then the curvature of the eye lens increases and the eye lens becomes thicker. Here the focal length decreases and we see the near objects also clearly. Or the simple way I can tell the definition for the power of accommodation of the eye is the ability of the eye lens to see both near and distant objects by adjusting its focal length is called power of accommodation of the eye. The other two terms also we should know before defining the range of vision, that is near point of the eye and the far point of the eye. The near point of the eye, another name can be called as least distance of distant vision. The minimum distance at which objects can be seen most distinctly without any stain to the eye is called least distance of distant vision. For a young adult with normal eyes, this normal near point distance equals to 25 centimeter. Distance increases with age due to decreasing effectiveness of ciliary muscles. The another point is far point of the eye. The farthest point up to which the eye can see objects clearly is called the far point of the eye. By knowing this near point of the eye and the far point of the eye, we can frame the definition for the range of vision. It states that the distance between the near point and far point of a normal eye is called its range of vision. it varies from 25 centimeter to infinity for the normal eye. So we'll move to the next topic called effects of vision and how can it be corrected. Effects of vision, or we can tell defects of vision. Here the normal eye can see objects over a wide range of distance varying from 25 centimeter to infinity. In spite of all precautions and proactive actions, our eyes may develop some defects. These can be due to the variety of reasons. The defects are myopia, hypermetropia, and now let us study the defects of vision one by one. The first one is myopia. The other name given for the myopia is nearsightedness. Means a person can see the near objects clearly and not able to see distant objects clearly. In such an eye, the light rays from a distant object arriving at the eye lens get converged at a point in front of the retina. You can observe in the first diagram, the image is formed in front of the retina. So the person cannot see the distant objects. This defect may be due to either excessive curvature of the cornea or it can be the elongation of the eyeball. These are the two causes. The one is excessive curvature of the cornea, or the other one may be elongation of the eyeball. But keep remember children, this defect can be corrected by using a lens, that is concave lens, or we can say diverging lens of appropriate focal length. You can observe in the second picture, in front of eye lens there is a concave lens kept. After keeping the concave lens, you can see the image is formed on the retina. Means the person can see the distant objects clearly. Now we'll move to the second defect called hypermetropia. Here the other name for the hypermetropia called farsightedness. Means a person can see far objects clearly but not the near objects. Here in this case, the light rays from a near objects arriving to the eye lens get converged behind the retina. You can observe in the picture, first picture, the image is formed behind the retina. Means he cannot see the near objects clearly. So for this case, this cause may be due to defect arise may be due to focal length of eye lens becoming too large. The other one is eyeball getting shortened. Let me repeat the causes. The first cause may be focal length of the eye lens becoming too large, or the another cause may be eyeball getting shortened. But here also this defect can be corrected by using convex lens, which is nothing but converging lens of appropriate focal length. You can observe in the second picture children, after placing the convex lens, okay, the image is formed on the retina. Means he can see the near objects clearly. Now we'll move to the third defect called cataract. So sometimes during old age, the eye lens of some people becomes hazy or even opaque. This is because of the development of a membrane over the eye lens. When it happens, the person is said to have cataract. This leads to decrease or the loss of vision of the eye. But keep remember, it is possible to restore the vision also by replacement of the opaque lens with a new artificial lens. So this is all about today's class, children. Today we have discussed about working of the human eye and some basic terms, that is persistence of vision, range of vision, power of accommodation and the defects of vision. And remaining part of the lesson we'll discuss in the next class, children. Have a nice day. Take care.